Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio. So today, we are showing you a new supporter. Anyway, so it is Samson Oak, and this is really good, because there's a few characters from Pokemon Sun and Moon that hadn't had supporter cards yet, and people were starting to get a little bit sad, and now they're coming out. Well, at least Samson Oak is, but it gives us hope for those other characters that you want. Now, it is a promo over in Japan. It's going to be a participation prize for draft tournaments this summer, and it reads like this. Translation, of course, from the lovely Antoine Boulay, who sent us this picture and kept us informed. Draw 2 cards. If both active Pokemon are the same type, draw 2 more. Now, drawing 2 cards is just flat out bad. How is draw 3 cards, and if no one's playing it, how is anyone going to be convinced to play one that draws 1 less card? Yay! However, drawing 4 cards is quite nice. We see that Lily sees a fair amount of play, and obviously turn 1, Lily draws till you've got 8 cards in hand. That's really nice, but otherwise Lily draws until you've got 6 cards in hand. So a lot of the time with Lily, drawing 4 cards will be pretty good. So I see no problem with playing something like this. If you're playing a Stage 2 deck, let's say Vikavolt, because it's a bit of a favourite of mine, you may well have the rare candy in hand, but you need to find the Vikavolt. At which point, you don't really want to play something like a Cynthia, because Cynthia's going to shuffle your hand into your deck and draw you 6 new cards, but now you need to draw the rare candy and the Vikavolt off of 6 cards, rather than just drawing the Vikavolt off of 4. So there is absolute use for a supporter card that just draws you extra cards. The real question is whether it's better than what we've got. And this is a promo, so it's going to be coming out in Japan over the summer, so we're not going to get it for a few months in UK, US, Europe, etc. So let's assume we're post-rotation here, and N has gone away, and Professor Sycamore has gone away. We don't have the same options for supporters we used to. Here's essentially what we're going to have post-rotation. We're going to have Cynthia, which is amazing. We're going to have Judge, which draw 4 cards and your opponent, new hand of 4 for each. It's alright as disruption, but it's not great as a draw card. We're going to have Copycat, but the problem with Copycat is that if your opponent's got a small hand, you match it. So if they've got a hand of 1 and it's a Cynthia, then you're only getting a hand of 1. If you play Copycat, that's a little bit of a problem. And we're going to have Tate and Liza, and Tate and Liza is basically, you have a choice between either a Shauna, shuffle in and get 4 cards, or a Switch. So outside of Cynthia, which is far and away the best draw option we're going to have post-rotation, I don't think there's any real argument about that, we're not having awesome options post-rotation. And everyone's going to put 4 Cynthia in their deck, that's a given. But after you've put 4 Cynthia in your deck, then what are you doing? And that's the real question here. Copycat's alright unless your opponent's got a really small hand. Judge doesn't really draw you enough cards. Now I do like Tate and Liza. Tate and Liza's quite good. But Tate and Liza becomes very similar to Samson Oak here. Would you rather get a new hand of 5 cards, or keep the cards you've got and get an extra 4 cards? And a lot of the time I'd rather have the extra 4. I mean, let's face it. If you're in a Stage 2 deck, like I've said, you need the candy and the Stage 2. If you've already got one of them, you would definitely rather just draw 4 cards. But it could be something simple like you've got an Ultra Ball in hand, and you've got a Solgaleo Prism Star on the field, and you just really want to draw a couple of energy so that you can then discard them using Ultra Ball. And let's bring Oranguru into the mix. Let's say you've got a 1-card hand, and you really want Candy Vikavolt. That's apparently our example for this video. Roll with it, ladies and gentlemen, it's fun. So you need Candy Vikavolt, you've got 1 card in hand. Even with something like a Cynthia here, you're in a fairly awkward position. Because if you draw 2 cards of Oranguru, the chances of getting the Candy and the Vikavolt are incredibly slim. If you play a Cynthia, you've got a decent chance, and you'll have 6 new cards, but then you're only drawing with Oranguru if you can get down to 1 or 2 or 0 cards in hand. Whereas if you're playing Samson Oak here, then what you can do is draw 2 cards of Oranguru, then draw 4 cards with Samson Oak, and then you're drawing 6. People are going to dismiss this card because, drawing 4 is not as good as Cynthia, but actually here, I think when you're combining it with stuff like Oranguru or looking for a 2-card combination, whether that's Candy Vikavolt or something else, I think there is a fair bit of potential here. Although at this stage, I really need to double back on the exact translation here and remind you, if both active Pokemon are the same type, draw 2 more cards. Because that, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very different. Because if this was just draw 4 cards, I would actually put it as a really good should play it in most deck supporter. But it's not. It's draw 2 cards, which is bad, because you can just play Howl. But if both actives are the same type, draw 2 more. Now there's going to be plenty of Buzzwole mirror matches post-rotation. So if you can get a fighting Pokemon in the active, you're good. And there's going to be plenty of decks like Malamar Ultra Necrozma or Malamar Necrozma. And Malamar Necrozma is pretty much an entirely psychic deck. And you're going to be playing Tapu Lele, so maybe you can manipulate it so you've got Tapu Lele in the active, you use this to draw 4 cards. But then you've got to retreat in a format where Floatstone's rotated, and here probably is where you see where I'm going with this. If it was drawing 4 cards, it would be great. But it's not drawing 4 cards. It's drawing 4 cards if you can match the typing of your opponent's active. And that is a very different thing indeed. I still like it to play, because we're all going to be playing Tapu Lele in our deck. There's going to be times where we sit there and go, hey, our actives are the same type, so I can Tapu Lele for a Samson Oak, and then draw myself an extra 4 cards. And we're in a Tapu Lele format at the moment, and that really helps with this. Lily is not really a great card outside of turn 1. But that's okay, because you can use Tapu Lele's Wonder Tag to search for it, and then you're off and rolling. So I could very much see this as a one-of in a bunch of decks, while we've still got Tapu Lele, because, and I've really gone to lengths to try and explain in this video, there are going to be times where drawing 4 cards flat out is better than shuffling your hand in and drawing 6. If you're looking for 1 card, you just want a new hand of 6. But if you're looking for a 2-card combo, it is generally going to be better to draw cards rather than shuffle in. That's where I see Samson Oak fitting. Now, a quick PSA here before I give you a score and tell you how good I think this is. We have some missing supporters at the moment. There are some unreleased promos in Japan that we've not actually got so far. We still don't have the Masked Royal, we still don't have Hiker, and these were promos over in Japan. There's one more, can anyone name it? Ether Foundation employee. So, there's no guarantee here that we are ever going to be getting this card. Because the longer it goes on, the more likely it is that Pokemon are just going to go, that card came out ages ago in Japan. It's not worth worrying about now. We can go without it. And I think that may well end up being what happens here. I'm not sure we'll ever get this card, although I hope we do. If we do, I really like it as a one-of in decks that are playing Tapu Lele, i.e. any deck. So let's go ahead and give it 3 Wassies as a card which is a decent tech. It is way too awkward to be used regularly, and it's way too awkward to be a regular fixture in decks that have got most of the time better options. But as a card that you can grab out occasionally when you really need it as a good option, yeah, I'm quite liking it. But as with all of these, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know if you're quite liking it, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.